Theo Dunphy, a professor at New Hampshire University, once said, "No society has ever remained the same. Change is always happening." Sometimes change in society is gradual. More often, however, change is propelled by events that shake things up. Those are called threshold events in history. They change the very nature of a society completely. The advent of agriculture gave birth to civilization. History divided itself with the birth of Christ. Down through the centuries, each new innovation and technology we have created or discovered has changed the way we live. Life is different now for all of us than it was before we had computers and cell phones, for instance. War and disease have also had the power to change the way we live and even determine the fate of nations. Looking back at such threshold events, we can always see a sort of before and after contrast in the way that people live their lives. It's hard not to reach the conclusion that right now, this moment in time, is also a threshold event. Life for all of us right now is changing. We can no longer do some of the things we used to do. A phone call, which was once considered an interruption in life, is the only connection we have with our friends and family. Where once we found joy in gathering together, now we experience a newfound fear of doing so. Some people are now afraid to even go to the grocery store for things that they need. Fortunately, because of technology, I guess, you can now order boxes of cereal and almost everything else you need from Amazon, and it will be delivered to your door. And you can also get food to go from your favorite restaurant, but it's not really the same. In 1876, Ira Sankey, a very popular singer and hymnist in his time, introduced to the world a song called "It Is Well With My Soul," written by Horatio Spafford. Today, it sounds like a song that must have come from a soul long at peace with God. But in fact, it's a song of faith that came out of great tragedy and sorrow. Once a successful lawyer and businessman, Spafford lost almost everything in a life-changing event known now as the Great Chicago Fire of 1871. The fire not only destroyed all his business interests, but also roughly 3 square miles of the city, and it killed 300 people as well. Still reeling from his financial losses, in 1873, Spafford made plans to travel to Europe to take advantage of an opportunity there to perhaps regain some of his lost fortune. At the last minute, something came up needing his attention, so he sent his wife and 4 daughters on ahead. The ship they were on collided with another ship and sank in only 12 minutes. Only his wife survived. After her rescue, she sent him a telegram saying, "Saved, alone." As Horatio Spafford traveled by ship to go to her, there came a moment when his ship passed over the very spot where his daughters had died. And surprisingly, instead of being overcome by grief, he penned these words: "When peace like a river attendeth my way, when sorrows like sea billows roll, whatever my lot, thou hast taught me to know, it is well with my soul." For me, be it Christ tends to live. If Jordan above me should roll, no pang shall be mine, for in death as in life, thou wilt whisper thy peace to my soul. Threshold events, whether global or personal, forever change our world. We respond to them by either trying to hold on to what we once had, or we let these events also change us and strengthen our faith in God. Only then will we be able to find a new way to live. Truth is, this current pandemic will end one day. The question now is, when that finally happens, what will remain of what was before, and what will be different in what comes after? That's not just a question about business and industry, our society and our economy. It's a question of personal identity as well. When this is all over, who will we be, and what will still be important to us? In the days ahead, the church is also likely to change. I like to think that perhaps the church will become more about relationships and people and helping each other through the tough times than about our place in the pew on a Sunday morning. We are starting to learn new ways to communicate with each other and to help each other that don't involve our being together in one place. We are experimenting with new ways to share faith, hope, and love with each other and with our world. We are learning that we can still be a faith community outside of the walls that have so long defined us. Keep it up. Call each other, write and share your feelings. And like AT&T used to say, reach out and touch someone today. Do whatever you can do to help each other through these tough times. And if you need help, ask for it, because there are those who are willing to help. We are still the church. Right now, the ban on gathering together remains in place. It's not imposed upon us from without, but from within. The fire is still burning, and we want to do nothing that will fan the flames, but instead we want to do everything that will help others to survive its passing. Therefore, we will follow the stay-at-home order, which has currently been extended to April 10th, in New Mexico at least, and we will not hold our worship service within the walls of the church during this time. I am hopeful that in a couple of weeks, however, we will be able to celebrate Easter together as a time of resurrection. I promise that we will do so whether we meet face to face or not. Expect new life. That is what we do in the spring. Tend to your yard if you have one, and watch as life begins again. The same thing will happen to us and to the church and to the world around us when the time is right. The best we can hope for when that time comes is that we too will be able to say, it is well with our souls. If so, then we will be ready for whatever lies ahead for us. As the psalmist said in Psalm 130, I wait for the Lord. My soul waits, and in his word I hope. Be safe, and God bless you.